Hi, I'm Olivia, and today's happy nugget comes from James Clavell, the phenomenal British novelist, screenwriter, producer, and director, most famous for writing the absolutely riveting, best-selling book Shogun, set in feudal Japan in the 17th century, an action-packed adventure, drama, and love story, complete with samurai, shoguns, and British sailors. Shogun is so incredibly well-researched and vividly written that you learn so much about Japanese history and culture while being highly entertained. It has sold over 15 million copies worldwide, and it was made into a miniseries of the same name, produced by James Clavell. It became the second most popular miniseries of all time. Clavell has written 6 major novels in what is referred to as his Asian saga: King Rat, Taipan, Shogun, Noble House, Whirlwind, and Gaijin. His mastery of storytelling, coupled with his in-depth research into historical periods and cultures, make for incredible and unforgettable books. James Clavell was born in 1924 in Sydney, Australia, but he grew up in England. His father was a British Royal Navy officer, and in 1940, when Clavell was 16, he joined the Royal Artillery. He was sent to Malaya to fight the Japanese. After being wounded by machine gun fire, he was captured and sent to a prisoner of war camp in Java, later being transferred to Changi Prison in Singapore. Clavell spent 3.5 years as a prisoner of war. His first novel, King Rat, which was an immediate success, is an insightful and powerful fictionalized account of his experience. From King Rat. Surrounding the whole sweating area, perhaps half a mile by half a mile, was a barbed fence, easy to cut, easy to get through, scarcely guarded. No searchlights, no machine gun posts. But once outside, what then? Home was across the seas, beyond the horizon, beyond a limitless sea or hostile jungle. Outside was disaster for those who went and for those who remained. By now, 1945, the Japanese had learned to leave the control of the camp to the prisoners. The Japanese gave orders and the officers were responsible for enforcing them. If the camp gave no trouble, it got none. To ask for food was trouble. To ask for medicine was trouble. To ask for anything was trouble. That they were alive was trouble. For the men, Changi was more than a prison. Changi was Genesis, the place of beginning again. In a radio interview in 1986, Clavell said, "It was about as near you can get to being dead as still being alive. We had 1/4 of a pound of rice a day, we had a few vegetables, and so on. I was just over 20 when I came out. What happens to a man between 17 and 25 more or less settles his character. So my character was pretty settled by that. And in fact, even today, so long as I can relate back to Changi, I'm in balance, because what can they do to me that hasn't already been done to me?" In 1946, a motorcycle accident ended his military career. In 1953, he and his wife immigrated to the United States and settled in Hollywood. In 1958, he wrote one of the greatest science fiction horror movies, The Fly, to great critical acclaim. In 1960, there was a writer's strike in Hollywood. Clavell had never spoken about his experiences in Changi to anyone. And his wife said, "Why don't you write them as a novel?" King Rat launched his career as a novelist, but it also acted as catharsis, unlocking emotions he had suppressed. It also got him thinking about the Japanese in a different light, sparking the curiosity and fascination that would inspire Shogun and many of his other fantastic novels. Our most difficult experiences can forge our characters, but they can also be a great source of inspiration. Everything in life that happens to us happens for a reason. We just have to find out what it is and how it can help us to grow.